It is now my honor and my privilege to invite Sarah Pendergraft from Mrs. Chung's class to come forward for a student presentation.
Hello, I'm Sarah Pendergraft, as you mentioned, from Mrs. Chung's class. I admit that of all of my wonderful years at Hicks Canyon Elementary, I cannot pick a single favorite grade. Second grade. My first taste of Hicks is a great one. My teacher, Mrs. Gilliam, always had fun in sight, even, in fact, especially, when learning was going on. I remember singing fun, goofy songs, watching butterflies grow, and there was never a boring moment throughout the entire year. Third grade. My first and only year in a portable, with the wonderful Mrs. Carlson. She introduced me to Teacher Read Aloud, which I would hold in high regard for years to come. One thing I remember is math. Mrs. Carlson really reinforced math, and the grades of everyone in the class showed it. Fourth grade, my first year with a role in the play, with my unforgettable teacher, Mrs. Berg. The play was based on a book we had been reading by the Great Horn Spoon, a story of a boy named Jack and his faithful butler and partner, Praiseworthy. I had the luck of being able to play Praiseworthy, though it was hard work. I remember our field trip to San Juan Capistrano. There was never boredom in sight, from paint and gold to learning why Indians like the color red. Fifth grade. I still remember the ice cream social. Kids running to see that all-important piece of paper that would decide their teacher. I remember looking over the papers and inwardly chanting, Mrs. Chung, Mrs. Chung. Finding my name, a smile washed over my face. Mrs. Chung was my teacher. Mrs. Chung, the enthusiastic, fun, energetic, all-around awesome teacher. After that, I had high expectations for the year, and I was not disappointed. Math was the right amount of challenging to be fun. Spelling and language arts were easy enough, and reading, my favorite subject, required just a quick trip to the class library. Of course, I'll never forget sweating to the oldies. Sweating is right. We could have filled a dried-up lake with all our sweat. I'll never forget OSS, or Outdoor Science School, more commonly known as Outdoor Ed. From the great food, the fun games to the sparkle party, there was never an uninteresting moment. Skit night was a blast, too. Everyone practiced a lot, and it showed. The skits were all fantastic. As you can see, of all my memorable experiences at Hicks Canyon, it would be impossible to pick a favorite. There have been many good times and many fantastic teachers, so even as I grow up and go on to other schools, I always miss Hicks Canyon.